Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so I'm a pretty big fan of Chick-fil-A, I ain't gonna lie. I personally consider myself to be the biggest mega fan of Chick-fil-A ever. I love Chick-fil-A. I go there all the time. Well, actually, I don't really go there all the time anymore because it is like the most expensive fast food joint there is, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. So I am a pretty big fan of Chick-fil-A, but I don't go there all the time anymore. But nonetheless, I am still Chick-fil-A's biggest fan. And so to prove that point, today I made a cigarette with a Chick-fil-A straw wrapper. And now I'm gonna be smoking it to well prove that I am, once and for all, Chick-fil-A's biggest fan. And I definitely do think ain't no other Chick-fil-A fan doing this. Ain't no other Chick-fil-A fan doing this. So this is definitely going to be a good way to cement my position as well, Chick-fil-A's biggest fan. But do I think that this is going to smoke well? More than likely. Do I think it's going to taste good? Probably not. There is a pretty decent amount of ink on this straw wrapper right here, I ain't gonna lie. And do I think it's going to get me buzzed? I think it might get me a little bit buzzed. I did use ultralight tobacco all throughout the inside of this cigarette right here. There's nothing else. It's just Bailey's Sky Blue ultralight tobacco. So I definitely don't think it's going to get me the most buzzed, that is for sure. But I definitely do think that I will get a little bit buzzed. Hopefully, at least. I'm hoping for a little bit of a buzz. I ain't going to lie, y'all. But without further ado, I do think it is now time for me to go ahead and get the cigarette that I made with a Chick-fil-A straw wrapper all lit up, and go ahead and let you guys know how making a cigarette with a straw wrapper in general actually is. Without further ado though, I do suppose first off, I should probably get my lighter out of my pocket. Now that I have my lighter out of my pocket though, let's go ahead and get this all lit up. Yes sir, you know what I'm saying? Well, there we go. Right off the bat, certainly no complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? I will admit one issue with trying to fill the Chick-fil-A straw wrapper was that getting the tobacco super compact and everything like that kind of thing was actually a pretty big challenge. It was a little bit difficult. This was actually the second wrapper I went through because I accidentally broke the first wrapper because these are just really fragile, I ain't gonna lie. And we can just see right off the bat, the ash is, well, extremely ashy. It's just super flaky ash and everything like that kind of thing, which makes sense. This is pretty thin paper, but it's certainly more thick than normal rolling paper, and it has a much different consistency as well, I definitely have to say. But we can just see right off the bat, this is not burning super evenly. I'm sure just because the packing, the packing of this cigarette right here really was not the greatest. That is my fault, but it certainly is what it is. I'm just gonna go and ash it real quick just like that. And we can see it is evening out just on its own, which is really nice. Maybe my packing was a bit better than I thought, but I definitely did not pack this just super well out of concern for breaking this straw wrapper. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, but right off the bat, it's actually not tasting all that bad. Don't get me wrong, there is a little bit of a chemically taste in my mouth from the paper, and I can definitely tell it's from the paper, just because it's like a chemically paper taste that I'm used to tasting from many other cigarettes I've tried before. There is a little bit of a chemically paper taste, but really not much at all, in all honesty. It really is not too extreme of a taste. I do definitely think the thinness of the paper for this cigarette right here is definitely helping quite a bit. That is for sure, you know what I'm saying? It's not really getting me super buzzed right off the bat or anything like that kind of thing, because I did, well, use ultralight tobacco, but I'm definitely feeling something rather than nothing, so certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. Actually, I am feeling a little bit buzzed right now, not a super heavy buzz or anything like that kind of thing, but I am feeling a little bit buzzed. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. I used roundabout, I want to say, 2.5-3 cigarettes worth of tobacco to make this cigarette right here. So it does have a pretty good amount of tobacco in it. So I do suppose I'd better get buzzed, you know what I'm saying? But it is ultralight tobacco overall. Or after all was the right word. Overall, it is ultralight tobacco overall. No. It is ultralight tobacco after all. But right off the bat, this is really not all that bad of an experience. It's tasting pretty good. It's smoking pretty well. I'm honestly legitimately surprised at how well this is working. I expected it to smoke. I expected it to work. I did not expect it to taste very good though. and this is very much exceeding my expectations right now. I will admit, it was a little bit difficult to actually make this cigarette right here. Basically, what I did to make this cigarette is I took off one side of the straw wrapper, and then I took the straw out, and then I took off the other side as well. And then after that, I just went ahead and put a filter in the end of it. I cut a little slit, slid the filter in just like that, and then I taped the filter in there just so it doesn't go anywhere or anything like that kind of thing. And then after that, I literally just filled the rest of the straw like a cone. And honestly, it was pretty easy. Definitely not as easy as filling a cone, I will admit, but still pretty easy nonetheless. And really packing it was really the hardest thing. But would I do this again with the hassle of filling it and everything like that kind of thing? Or would I much rather just smoke a pre-roll or a normal rolled cigarette? I think I'd much rather smoke a normal rolled cigarette. But honestly, if I had a filter, if I didn't have any papers, I had some tape, and I just had some tobacco lying around, I would do this again. This really is not a bad experience. I am very much impressed by this. I really am. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's burning pretty quickly as well. Definitely makes sense. The paper, of course, is going to burn pretty quickly just because of the consistency of the paper. A straw wrapper is definitely fast burning paper, that is for sure. And I also didn't pack the tobacco super tight or anything like that, so it definitely does make sense why it is burning as fast as it is. But overall, yeah, no complaints on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? No complaints on my behalf at all. This is overall very much impressing me. Very much impressing me right now. Oh my goodness. Wow. I am very happy this experience is as good as it is. You know what I'm saying? And that ash is about to fall off. Just go ahead and just ash that real quick. And honestly, I am surprised. I was thinking one of the issues I was going to have with this cigarette right here was because, well, I didn't pack it super tight or anything like that kind of thing, that I was going to have issues with the ash, with the embers falling out and making me relight the cigarette. But honestly, I'm not having that issue at all. Although I will admit, I am definitely ashing this a lot lighter than I do my normal cigarettes. I'm pretty hard with ashing my cigarettes. Normally, I'm just flicking it as hard as I can just to get the ash off and everything like that kind of thing. This, on the other hand, I'm just tapping it very, very, very lightly. But overall, yeah, no complaints on my behalf. This is a pretty solid experience right off the bat. I am very much legitimately impressed right now. No complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? No complaints on my behalf at all. But yeah, man, and I will admit, I'm going to give myself a minute. It's getting me a little bit buzzed, that is for sure. This ultralight tobacco is definitely getting me a little bit buzzed. I am definitely glad that I did not put full flavored tobacco or light tobacco in this cigarette right here. I'm glad I used some Bailey's Sky Blue ultralight tobacco, that is for sure. Those cigarettes, not very good to smoke on their own, I ain't going to lie, but definitely works. The tobacco itself definitely works pretty well for making a massive cigarette, because it really does suck to just get too buzzed. It really does suck to just get too buzzed. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Having a super big pleasant buzz is really nice, but having a super big unpleasant buzz, not so nice. And I definitely did not want that experience today, so I'm glad I opted to use some ultralight tobacco. That is for sure. But man, yeah, I am impressed right now, y'all. I am impressed. As we're getting towards the end of the cigarette, it's getting a little bit rougher. At the beginning of the cigarette, it really was not all that rough, in all honesty, and I can definitely taste more of the sort of chemical paper taste coming through, but honestly, it's like a slightly sweet chemical paper taste, and there's really not much of it coming through, in all honesty. It is definitely there, and it's definitely very noticeable, but it's not the most intense taste in the world. This is definitely better than smoking a cigarette rolled with a paper straw, or smoking a cigarette, or just stuffing a paper straw with tobacco and then smoking that. That was a horrible experience. This honestly is an experience I would not mind having again on video, but I cannot, realistically speaking, see me doing this again just in real life, in all honesty. But on video, I would totally do this again, in all honesty. And do I think I am proving myself to be Chick-fil-A's biggest fan in this video? I most certainly do think I am, that is for sure. Chick-fil-A They're goated. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. They really are goated. They got that number 6 12-piece grilled nugget. They got that upsized fry. They got that upsized sweet tea with light ice. That used to be my order. Now I get the now I just get the number 6 with a side of fries, and I just get a cup of water instead because I don't be drinking too much sugar anymore, nothing like that kind of thing. I've cut my sweet tea habit down by quite a bit, that is for sure. But overall, yeah, I definitely do think I am proving myself to be Chick-fil-A's biggest fan in this video. Do I see any other Chick-fil-A fans doing this? I don't. I am Chick-fil-A's biggest fan. Chick-fil-A, y'all better repost this on your Twitter, on your Instagram, everything like that kind of thing. Y'all better do that. If y'all watching this video, repost it right now. Bet you won't. Bet you won't. But, overall, yeah, no complaints on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? The ash, as said, is very, very, very flaky. I am just going to set this down just for a moment, give myself a little bit of a breather because I'm feeling a little bit buzzed right now. And I'm just going to go and take a sip of water real quick. But yeah, overall, I'm impressed. I really am impressed. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This is not bad. And honestly, I really have, at the moment at least, no desire to really take any more hits. I've got a pretty good buzz right now going. It's a very nice, chill, mild buzz. And I don't really have any more hits to take any. I don't really have any more hits. I don't really have any desire to take any more hits at the moment. Although I'm sure I will in like 30 seconds. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But overall, yeah, I'm legitimately impressed. As said, I wouldn't do this again in real life. I would do it again on video. It's certainly not that bad of an experience. It's a pretty good experience in all honesty kind of thing, and the ink really does not taste all that bad. I mean, like, you're really not meant to smoke this, but for something you're not meant to smoke, it's really not all that bad. And I definitely have to say, comparison-wise, compared to a lot of other stuff that I've made cigarettes with that I shouldn't have made cigarettes with, this is definitely better than printer paper, sticky notes. This is most certainly better than smoking a paper straw, that is for sure. But I definitely have to say this is probably about on the same level as a CVS receipt. I definitely do think my experience where I rolled a cigarette with a CVS receipt was still slightly better. But this is a lot closer to that than not, that is for sure. But definitely, yeah, overall, no complaints on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? And I will admit, having a Chick-fil-A branded cigarette is just hilarious. You know what I'm saying? It really is just hilarious. But overall, certainly no complaints on my behalf. Man, oh man. Whew. Wow. Yeah, I am impressed. You know what I'm saying? I certainly am impressed. Oh, and I just had the issue I was talking about earlier on in the video. I was thinking the embers were going to all fall out and everything like that sometime throughout the video, and it didn't happen at that point, and I was very surprised it didn't happen at that point, but it has happened now, so I'm going to go ahead and get this cigarette all relit, you know what I'm saying? Because, of course, I got to be smoking the entire cigarette in today's video. Let's go ahead and just get that going. There we go, there we go. No complaints on my behalf, though. I do think, without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and just take probably 1, 2, maybe 3 more hits. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts on this experience where I made a cigarette with a Chick-fil-A straw wrapper and smoked it to prove that I am indeed Chick-fil-A's biggest fan. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take those last 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 last hits. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Not a great taste. Not a great taste. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Chaining those hits, not very good. And we can see the filter is just getting super mushy. I just used the top filter for this cigarette right here, and we can see there is just so much tar coming through. It really is crazy. I'm just gonna take one more hit, y'all. I said I was only going to take one more hit, but I actually took 2. But without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and stub this out on the ground right here. I know there's a little bit more tobacco left, but I really, in all honesty, am not terribly worried about that tobacco because, well, it is indeed ultralight tobacco. I am feeling pretty buzzed right now. I ain't going to lie, I'm feeling pretty good right now, that is for sure. But overall, how was the experience where I rolled, or I do suppose I didn't roll, where I stuffed a Chick-fil-A straw wrapper with tobacco and smoked it to prove that I am indeed Chick-fil-A's biggest fan. Overall, not a bad experience. Not a bad experience at all, in all honesty. It had pretty flaky ash. The taste definitely wasn't the greatest kind of thing, a decent amount of some sort of like chemically paper taste coming through, but the straw itself, I mean, like burned pretty well, burned at the same rate as the tobacco. It didn't burn super fast or anything like that kind of thing. It didn't really taste all that bad. Don't get me wrong. You did get some of that sort of chemical-like paper taste in there, but it really did not taste all that bad. And overall, it just smoked pretty well, and I certainly did get a little bit of a buzz. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I stuffed a Chick-fil-A straw wrapper full of tobacco and smoked it to prove that I am indeed Chick-fil-A's biggest fan, because, well, I am indeed now officially Chick-fil-A's biggest fan, that is for sure. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, though, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel all in the description down below, along with my TikTok and my Instagram and all of my other socials. Go check it all out, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you very much for watching, y'all. To the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?